Hello, welcome back to our last session of a conversation course. Our topic this month is disasters, and our focus for today is the wildfires that have been happening in many countries over the summer of this year. But this particular lesson is focused on the fires in Greece. So let's go ahead and open up this document. This is called Wildfires Rage Across the World. And let's start by discussing some of these questions. It says, have you ever witnessed a fire, either in nature or in an urban environment?
Hello. No, I really in a natural or urban environment, I don't really have have seen a fire, but in my last job, I was a brigade member of the fire brigade, and we made practice in a field in a field with a fire to practice, precisely to practice the how to combat a fire. And because of that, I have seen a fire or witnessed a fire. But a really fire in the nature, no, I don't. I haven't.
Mm-hmm. So you just had that practice, like extinguishing the fire?
Yes, exactly. Uh-huh.
I see. Okay. So, what about, let's talk about the weather here in Mexico City this summer. Do you think that it was a hotter summer than usual?
I think yes. It is the since some years, 4 or 3 years, the summers have been so hotter, so hotter.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, so much hotter than they usually are, right?
Yes, so much hotter than usual. Mhm.
Yeah, when I talk to people who are from Mexico City originally, what they tell me is that the climate has changed a lot since they were growing up, maybe 20 or 30 years ago. They say that it used to be different, a very mild climate, and they didn't used to have these temperatures of 30 or 32 degrees in the summer. They said this is a new phenomenon.
Yes, I think 20 or 30 years ago, the normal temperature for Mexico City was 25. That was the
Yes.
normal temperature, and more than that was very rare, very, very rare. We didn't have more than 25 centigrade degrees, and 30, that was in for more than 20 years ago, that was impossible. We didn't have that. We didn't have that temperature. And yes, since 10 years or 15 years, the the weather is was changing. The weather has been changing. It's, you can note that um, it's since it, how do you say in Mexico, I think in Mexico didn't exist the air condition in Mexico City.
Yeah, that's what I tell some of the students, like from Monterrey or other parts of Mexico. I say, we don't really need it here. Like maybe 2 or 3 months, like March to May. Yes, you feel like, oh, I wish I had air conditioning. But most of the year you don't really need it.
No, 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 no. But now it's so different. The weather is so warm, and the temperature is more than 30 grades in May, for example, or in summer. Than that, many people buy air condition machine and put in their houses.
Yeah, I can understand that because this year I think there was a heat wave in June, and it was around the time that it was supposed to start raining here in Mexico City, but it didn't, and it was very, very hot. So
Mm-hmm.
now, I mean, now definitely we're in the rainy season. We don't have so much heat like a few months ago, but yeah, it was very back in June. I think that was the heat wave that lasted for 1 or 2 weeks, where it was over 30.
Yeah, and like I said, that is not normal for Mexico City.
Mm,
Um, in this in this 25 years, the weather is was changing a lot, a lot, a lot. Mhm.
yeah, that's what people who have lived here their whole lives have told me, that the climate has changed a lot.
Uh-huh. Yes,
Mm,
yes, yes.
yes.
Mm-hmm. And for example, in winter, we don't have cold days, not
No,
really
not
cold
really.
days.
Mm.
And before 20 or 30 years ago, we had cold days, really cold days, 5 grads or 4 grads. But now
Degrees.
it's very rare. Now we start the day more or less 9 grads, 10 grads in December, and
Hmm.
4 grads. The difference is a lot for the climate change. Is 4 grads is a lot.
Yeah, 4 degrees. Yeah, it's something that yeah, we don't have any snow. I mean, sometimes you can feel cold, in the morning or at night, but it's not, you know, it never goes below a certain temperature. I think maybe 5 is like the coldest that it can be.
Yeah, exactly. Uh-huh. This is and that is a worry because the climate is changing, and the consequence is are very bad, like these wildfires.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what else? It says, do many tourists visit your country?
um I don't know. I
Yes.
I think so. I think
Yes.
so. Oh yes, yes.
Yeah,
Mexico,
I think.
in general, Mexico, yes. Mexico City, I don't know, but the other states, yes, yes, a lot of tourists.
Yeah, especially the Riviera Maya. This is probably the
Mhm.
most visited part of Mexico, but yeah, I would say we have tourists here in the city. Actually, yesterday I was at the grocery store, and I live near the airport,
Mhm.
and I heard there were two men, and they were, like European looking, and they were speaking a language that I didn't recognize. And I was
Mhm.
like, what are you doing here? Like, this is not like Condesa. Like, why are you in this grocery store? And I and it was very unusual, but yeah, I mean, there are people traveling and especially moving here from
Mhm.
US and similar countries to basically save on rent because if you work online, then you can live anywhere you want.
Yes, exactly. And if you go to Polanco, Condesa, Roma, you can see a lot of tourists or
Hmm.
many tourists. But in the other parts of the city, I wouldn't go to there.
No, not to travel. Yeah, it's not part of the tourist
Not for
spot.
tourists. Yeah, exactly. Not for tourists. Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and what else? Have you ever experienced a natural disaster while on vacation? If so, what happened?
No, no, I haven't. I have not experienced a natural disaster. Mm, maybe my brother, he lives in Coatzacoalcos. This is very close of the sea, and
Right.
he has experienced natural disasters, a hurricane. Uh,
Right. The hurricanes, yeah, arrive on the coast of Veracruz many times.
yeah, actually, in Mexico there is a hurricane season.
Right.
Always happens in I don't know, no, November, October, I don't remember, but we have a hurricane season, and my brother has experienced these hurricanes, not on vacation because he lives there, but what happened? The rain and the water, this water like a rain fell, or how do you say it? A lot of water, like yeah, like a
Flooding,
rain fell.
inundación, ¿no?
Uh-huh,
Yeah, flooding. Hmm.
uh-huh. Um, uh, 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 take all in the road, take the cars. You can
Oh,
see the
wow.
cars like a
Hmm.
chips in the roads or in the that was that he had experienced in that occasion.
Yeah, it's I've seen that on the news, like the cars being washed away by the flooding. Of course, it's not something that I have lived through, but I've seen it in, news
Yeah, and
stories and mhm.
it's impressed because
Yeah,
they have angst and no angst, no, they have they are fair, and they many times they don't know how to what to do, what to
right.
do they must do.
Wow, that's scary.
Scary.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I've never lived through anything like that, fortunately. So, okay. So, let's take a look at these words that are in bold. And what we need to do is complete the definitions. Okay. So, for example, the
Okay.
word rage means to spread
Mm-hmm.
in what way? How can we complete this definition?
Okay. Uh, do you mean spread what in spread um in a place?
Spread in a place. What about spread very quickly?
A particular area. A
Spread.
particular.
It could be, if it said in, it could be, but it doesn't say in. So we would have to have that preposition to indicate the place. But rage means to spread very quickly.
Spread
So
is to
difundir.
difundir.
Yeah, to move around. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Spread means to move around. Okay. All right. Now, the word strand means to leave somebody blank from which they have no way of leaving.
Leave somebody. Um, a place of danger.
So
Not
again, we would need that preposition in.
Yeah, in a place.
Yeah, so leave somebody in a place. What you might actually recognize a little bit better is this adjective stranded.
Yeah.
That means being stuck or trapped somewhere you can't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one might be easier to recognize, that word stranded. Okay. A community are all the people who live in
A particular area.
Country, etc., when talked about as a group. Okay. And evacuation is the process of moving people from
a place of danger.
Yeah, place of danger to a safer place. Okay. And a phenomenon is something that
exists or happens.
And usually something unusual. Perfect. Okay. Let's do the same with the next group of words. So, to trigger means to make something what?
Trigger. Can be moved.
Trigger is like provocar, to make something.
Okay, it just happened suddenly.
Yeah, happen suddenly. Okay. Belongings are the things that you own, which
Um, mm, mm, mm. Is easy. No, can be moved.
Yeah,
No,
can
no,
be
no.
moved. Yes.
Can be moved.
Yeah, things that you own which can be moved, like your possessions.
I think I was thinking belongings is my possessions, but all kind of possessions.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I agree with this definition because I think that a house, for example, can be considered a belonging or a possession. I mean, maybe not in the strictest sense, but to me, that's a belonging. I think what they're referring to is like, for example, if there was a fire and you had to rescue certain things in your house, like those kinds of belongings. But to me, a house, something, even if it can't be moved, that to me still qualifies as a belonging. So I'm going to put belonging and possession as pertenencia. And to me, it's something that can be moved or not be moved.
Or not all.
Yeah, to me, that it could be both.
Okay. I was thinking that also.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else? Succession is a number of
um,
Should we skip this one and come back?
people of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, people or things that follow each other in
Yes,
time.
of course.
Mhm.
I was thinking just people and
Yeah.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay. And a backlash is a strong
Strong negative reaction.
negative reaction by a large number of people. For example, to something that has recently changed in society.
Mhm.
And finally, vulnerable means describing someone or something that,
It's easy to hurt,
yes, easy to,
damage, or attacked.
yes, perfect. Okay, so let's discuss some of these questions. So it says, have you
Mhm.
ever been stranded somewhere? And if so, what happened?
Mm, no, I don't think I have been ever stranded in some place or uh, uh, maybe in the traffic.
Yeah, yeah, in a traffic jam. Yeah, I can't think of anything that has happened like that to me.
No, I don't think also it's yeah, mm, no, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so here's the question about the belongings. It says, if you discovered a fire in your home, would you take any of your belongings with you?
Oh, it's a difficult question.
No.
If you if you are in danger because the fire,
Right.
obviously no, you wouldn't take anything. You
Yeah.
run
Yeah.
of the fire, run out the fire.
Yeah, you would escape or run away.
Uh-huh. But maybe if you have time to
Hmm.
react and take some belongings, I think I would take
Yes.
my passport and the papers of my house.
Yeah, all of the documents that,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Even if in these exercises in the brigade, in the fire brigade, they told us that you have to have a bag with all these things ready to take and run of the fire, or run away. Mhm.
Yeah, ideally. Yeah.
And then you can save time just taking this bath and running, no.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's ideal. Like, especially if you have like kids with, the vaccines and, you know, all this.
maybe
Yeah, everything that you
yeah,
need to prove. Yeah.
uh, the born papers of your kids, the passports,
Yes.
some this I don't say I don't know how to say escritura de la casa. um
Yeah, just like the documents that, yeah.
maybe at the end I think it's not so important compared with your life, and
Right. No.
the important is run away. Maybe the focus must your focus must be in how to extinct the fire, how to call the people to help you, something like that.
Right. Yeah, that would just be if you had time or maybe some sentimental things like, for me, like
Yeah.
something that what belonged to my grandmother. Like if I had time, then I would say yes, because I cannot replace this. It's not
Yes.
like the furniture in my house or, the appliances. You can replace those things, but you can't replace the sentimental things.
Yeah. Exactly. But I think in this moment, in this dangerous moment or scary moment, you don't think about material things or
Yeah,
material belongings. You don't think about that. You just want to run away and be safe.
right. For
Mhm.
sure. Okay, what else? Which natural phenomenon do you find the scariest?
I think the
Earthquake?
earthquake.
Yeah,
I think
earthquake.
that
Hmm.
that is the scariest because it's feel how the earth moves. I think it's very scary.
Yeah, I honestly, before I lived here, I had never really felt an earthquake. And I didn't know, like, I thought that an earthquake was like shaking, and it can be, but the
Uh-huh,
ones that I have felt here are like from side to side,
uh-huh,
like as if you were like surfing, like on the ocean.
mm-hmm,
Like this is what it feels like. And I was not I thought I always imagined that it was like shaking, but the ones that I
mm-hmm,
have experienced were not like that. So it's very different, the experience when you're actually living it than
uh-huh,
just
uh-huh.
imagining or see a video or something.
Yeah, in that moment when you are feeling this movement, I think the scariest moment is that you don't know if in 2 or 3 seconds will be worst, will be
Mm,
more strong, and then
stronger. Yeah.
could you could see how the buildings come down or something like that. This that's very scary for people because we all the people we imagine the worst scenario or the worst that the worst thing will be happened.
Right. You have to be prepared for the worst because sometimes it does happen.
Because it's so scare the moment of the head square.
Yeah. Okay. What else? Is your country more vulnerable than others to the effects of climate change?
I think so. The more vulnerable, I think the more vulnerable places or zones in my country are sea, land where land in the sea, and mm, yeah, and this place, this country, um, in the how do you say la falla de San Andrés? We
San
have a
Andres
falla. We
fault.
have a San Andrés fault.
Mm,
In this case, this fault is something in the earth, something
mhm.
in the deep earth that can cause earthquakes. and and I think the climate change affect this part of the country, and also the countries in the sea, because the coast, for example, because we could have a tsunami or a hurricane, or yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it depends on where you live for sure.
Depends on the country. Is the vulnerable place, and the the consequence of the disaster that we could have.
Right, yeah. Okay. What else? Should governments practice evacuations in order to prepare for disasters? Why or why not?
Yes, yes, um, that is a must in the society.
Yeah.
The evacuation, the evacuations, the practice evacuations, and site site a lot of, not a lot of years, site well, side the earthquake in 1985.
Mm-hmm.
We have these practices. The government implemented these practices, but um, yeah, because we didn't have the culture of the disasters.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, something that probably nobody thought they would have to do. But now we realize that it's important to be prepared for this at least once a year, like we did on
Uh-huh.
Tuesday, the practice.
Mhm, mhm, mhm. Yeah, and for example, here in Mexico City, we make evacuation practices, and we have now we have the culture of the evacuation and how to react to the disaster or to the earthquake. But in other countries, for example, Veracruz with the hurricanes, they must made another kind of practices, but they must made these practices. The evacuations, I mean, the evacuations are different, and
Right.
because the disaster is different, but they must have also their practices.
Yeah, it's called a drill, simulacro. When you practice, it doesn't have to be for earthquakes. It can be for any type of disaster. For example,
Uh-huh.
in the schools in the United States, they practice for if someone comes into the school with a gun.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I have a nephew. She's studying in the UT. It's the Texas University.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and yeah, she told us that they made these drills.
Yes.
Um, if somebody go with a gun,
Yeah.
that is incredible.
Yeah. 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 It's very because I'm a kindergarten teacher. Well, I was in the US. And
Mhm.
so we had to, at one point, explain to these kids who were very young that if someone came in with a gun, then this is what we have to do.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, and the kids live with this scare about
Yeah.
somebody come and kill me or shoot me.
Yeah. It's too bad. You have a niece or a nephew?
Is she is
Oh, a
niece?
woman. Yeah,
A
niece.
woman.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Niece.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Niece.
Nis.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm,
yeah. It's really bad, that situation.
mhm.
Okay. What else? What do you think might trigger, meaning provoke, wildfires? And what would cause them to rage during the summer?
Mm, um, mm, mm, mm. The I think um the high temperature, the how do you say, help help to a fire, help
Right.
to have a fire, to but I think normally it's the human hero that caused the wildfire, so the fire. What is the war is just fire, because I think wildfire, the word refer to a fire that is provoked just for the temperature of the place, the high temperature of the place.
Yeah, naturally, right?
Naturally, but not always is so. I think the most of time is a human hero.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that in my hometown, for example, because the temperatures are very high, but the climate is also very dry. So what that means is that if there's a very small spark for any reason, it spreads very, very quickly. So
Mhm.
the firefighters are busy, especially in the summer, but really all year. Even in the winter, they're still fighting fires.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they have to prohibit like fireworks, for example, because the risk of fire is too high.
Yes, because any yeah, some I think the fire begins because the light of the sun come in some surface that can reflect and provoke the heat of some surface. I think because glass, for example, glass. If the light of the sun come on the glass, um, heat hit the surface, and the surface reflect, and or the surface hit also a plant or another surface, and then we can have this fire or wildfire. But the situation is the origin of the situation is because a human
Right.
being left some glass or some bottle of plastic or plastic bottle or some material that can cause this situation.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Because of
So,
that, I say the most of the fires uh, are provoked by by heroes of human being, not
yeah,
for not just the nature, not just the heat of the environment.
right. The human activity is the main
Yes.
cause.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So, let's listen to this report on the wildfires in Greece, and
Mm-hmm.
let's see how much we can remember. Okay, so I'm going to see. Yeah, there we go.
Greece has carried out its largest ever evacuation, with wildfires raging on the islands of Rhodes, Avia, and Corfu. In Rhodes, 19,000 people have been moved as a result of the fires, according to the fire department. Many were tourists stranded in hotels, with some forced to leave luggage and belongings behind as the flames spread. Residents from 17 villages in Corfu had to flee the fires, with communities in Avia, Greece's second largest island, also being evacuated. The wildfires emerged on the back of a succession of heat waves, with temperatures hitting 113 degrees Fahrenheit in some parts of Greece. Such fires are becoming increasingly common during the summer. In 2018, 104 people died in the Attica region due to wildfires. The phenomenon may be triggered by either natural or human causes, but human-caused climate change has fostered the perfect conditions for these kinds of fires to spread, according to scientists. Greece is not the only nation to be affected, with Italy, Croatia, Algeria, and Tunisia all struggling to contain their own wildfires. In Sicily, Palermo Airport was closed as flames surrounded the southern city. Over 55 as flames surrounded the southern city. Over 55 fires are reported to be burning throughout the island. The Mediterranean is particularly vulnerable to extreme heat, with incidents often occurring during peak tourist season. In Greece, tourism accounts for 25% of the GDP, with 1 in 5 jobs related to the tourist industry. With Rhodes and other islands on fire, a backlash is building over the decision made by travel companies to continue to send visitors to the region despite the ongoing evacuation. Travelers looking to cancel their vacations discovered that they would not be covered by insurance plans.
Okay, questions?
Struggling.
Was it this word struggling?
Struggling.
Yeah, it's like luchar or batallar when you have like a difficulty with
Okay.
like a challenge. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think
Okay.
they said they're struggling to contain their, yeah, means
Yeah, to
they're having
contain.
a difficult time trying to contain.
Mm-hmm. Okay. GDP.
Yeah, the GDP is the gross domestic product. And this
Mhm.
refers to the total amount of money made by everybody in a country in 1 year, the total amount of income that they make.
Okay. México es Producto Interno Bruto.
Right. So tourism is 25% of the income that Greece, that's a lot. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
knew
a
it
lot.
was like an important country for tourism, but I was not aware that it
No,
was
but
that
in
much.
I think the Iceland of Greece, all the money that they have is about tourists.
Yeah, yeah, some of the islands, sure.
I was in Santorini. This
Hmm.
is so expensive. Just only tourists and so all expensive. The island is just restaurants, hotels. It's yes, it's a lot of tourists, and we pay a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it looks beautiful, but yeah, I'm sure it's very expensive.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah,
white houses. This is a really nice,
it's nice.
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, very nice. And flea,
Sorry?
flea. I hear flea.
Oh, oh, flee, huir, like to run away from something.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
um, okay, that's is all. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's see what we can remember. So how many different islands did they mention in the report?
Roda, Elvia, Kofu,
Corfu.
right, 3.
3. Mhm.
Mm.
Okay. The number of people evacuated from Rhodes.
19,000.
Yeah, 19,000.
Mm.
Okay. The number of villages evacuated in Corfu.
17.
Okay. The temperature in degrees Fahrenheit that has been reached in some parts of Greece.
It's 113.
Yeah, that's around 45 degrees.
This is a lot
Pretty
of.
hot. Yep, it's hot. Okay. The number of people who died as a result of wildfires in Attica in 2018.
104.
104. The number of countries experiencing wildfires mentioned in the report.
It's Italy, Croatian, Tunisian, and Algeria. 4.
Yeah. Or if we count Greece, then it would be 5. I don't know if
Okay,
they
5.
consider
Yes.
that. Okay. The number of fires currently raging in Sicily.
55.
Yeah, 55. And the percentage of the GDP that tourism accounts for in Greece.
45.
25.
25, sorry.
Yeah, that's
25.
yeah. Still a lot, actually.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. I think that's it. So, any more questions for today?
No, I don't think so. It's a very interesting topic, this disaster, because I think in many countries happened. For example, Australia,
Yes.
also Canada also.
Even Canada, yeah, it's very strange because this is not a place where we typically see very high temperatures.
Yes. Canadá, I mean, ha pasado, it had happened.
Yeah, it has happened. Yeah.
It has happened. Also I think in Russia, recently, Russia, I don't remember, but in some place in that way, in
Yeah,
that
like where you would not expect it, right?
yeah, but very interesting topic.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, well, thank you so much for the collaboration. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing you in the next course.
Okay, thank you, Lana.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.